you can buy that house with the proposed rental income that you would be taking in, which would exclude the majority of your new mortgage payment. So that's how you can purchase your new rental. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of The Real Deal. This week, we're going to be talking about purchasing second homes or vacation homes up north. That is a very common theme right now. A lot of clients have reached out or considered the opportunity of buying something up north. And there's a lot of craze going on with Airbnbs right now. There's a show that I watch in particular. I think it's called Amazing Vacation Rentals. It's a really cool show. I get a lot of ideas from there of places that I want to go, but they showcase a lot of different rental homes and how much money can potentially be made from these types of investments. I have a client of mine that recently bought a house about 6 months ago, and they also sold a house. Now, because they were able to turn such a good profit on that house, they have money that's left over. And that's something that I constantly push to my clients when they're selling and buying. Keep as much of that money that you can in your account so that way you can use that money to reinvest. And that's exactly what these guys are doing. They kept some of their money. They didn't put all the money from one house to the other, because at the end of the day, once you have your down payment, every $20,000 that you're paying on top of your down payment is only reducing your monthly payment $100 a month. So $40,000 is $200, $60,000 is $300 a month. That $60,000 would be much better used in an investment to help you grow your overall wealth, as opposed to saving you $300 a month. So these clients, they listened to my advice, and now they're thinking about what their next investment is going to do. They bought a great home, and don't get me wrong, they didn't sacrifice on their home. They definitely upgraded. They got a beautiful home with an RV garage, but now they're thinking about becoming investors. So we had that conversation, and I wanted to go over a couple different options, a couple different ways that you can purchase another home in another state or another city. They're looking in particular like in Prescott, Show Low, or like Flagstaff area, right? So one of the more affordable ways to buy another home and not put that much money down is, of course, if you could buy that as a primary residence, right? So if you have a telecommuting type job and you can live up north for 6 months and you can buy that house as a primary residence, then you can take advantage of a lower down payment by living up there because you can telecommute, right? Now, that's pretty rare. Most of the time people want to stay in town, and they're specifically buying that for a vacation or an Airbnb, right? So that's option one. That's the one that's going to be the cheapest one in terms of out-of-pocket costs. If you currently own a residence, if you can telecommute and purchase that other one as a primary residence, right? The second option is going to be as an actual second home. So if you currently own a home, you can buy a second home up north or wherever with 10% down. So you don't have to put the full 20. You can get away with putting 10% down. Now, the downside of buying this as a second home is that you can't exclude what your proposed income is going to be on that property. So you can't exclude your mortgage. So what I mean by that is you would have to qualify for 2 mortgage payments, and that's obviously going to be a little bit more difficult. So that is the one drawback. The one downside of buying as a second home is that you now have to qualify for 2 mortgages as opposed to buying as a primary residence. Then obviously you can exclude your current rental property that you're leaving behind. So the benefit of being able to buy a second home as opposed to an investment is that you can get away with 10% down, as opposed to my last topic, which is buying it just straight up as an investment. So if you go and you just put your down payment as an investment, you can exclude that mortgage payment and it won't affect against your debt to income. And the down payment only has to be 15% with certain investors, which is great. Typically people think that you have to put 20% down. That's not the case. You can get away with putting 15% down on an investment home up north. And this is the great part about purchasing as an investment, putting your 15% down. So let's say you don't want a long-term tenant, which is most of the time that's the case. Most of the time you're not wanting to buy something up north and rent it out for a year, right? The whole idea is you're buying it as a home for you to go on vacation or Airbnb it. You can purchase this home as a short-term rental or Airbnb. And the way that this works is the appraisers determine the value of the house based off of the surrounding rents in those neighborhoods. And they can use what those proposed rents would be as what the rental income would be on that new home, and that would exclude your mortgage. So let me go ahead and dive in on that and simplify it a little bit more. So let's say you're paying $2,000 a month for your mortgage here in the city, and you want to buy something in Flagstaff, right? And let's say that houses are a little bit more expensive up there. So let's say that mortgage ends up being $2,500 a month. Let's say it's $3,000 a month. Let's tick it up a notch. Let's say it's $3,000 a month, but it's a sweet cabin. It's got all these nice upgrades. It's a really cool spot. If you put 15% down and you purchase this as an investment, right? Let's say this is a $600,000 house, $650,000 house, right? And you might be thinking to yourself, well, how am I going to be able to qualify for a $650,000 house if I just now qualified for a $450,000 house? If you can put that 15% down, if you listen to my advice and you save your money and you didn't put all that money into the next house and you have that 15% to put down on the next house, you can buy that house with the proposed rental income that you would be taking in, which would exclude the majority of your new mortgage payment. So that's how you can purchase your new rental property up north without having to qualify for two mortgages. And that's such a great hack. I mean, I love that you can get away with purchasing something and not have to make or combine multiple incomes. A lot of people think that you have to combine multiple incomes so you can qualify for multiple mortgages. That's not the case. And also, more importantly, you don't need to have a long-term tenant in there to be able to accomplish that. And that's great news if you're wanting to get into the short-term rental game, which I highly recommend. It's very lucrative. I follow a lot of influencers, a lot of people on TikTok that are doing it, and they're making a killing off of it. And then as a big, nice bonus, you have this awesome vacation home that you can go up there on, 2-3 weekends during the wintertime, and then 2-3 weekends during the summertime when it's extremely hot, and enjoy some nicer weather. So hopefully this information helps you make an educated decision when you're thinking about selling and buying your next home. Don't put all that money. I promise you it's not worth saving the $200-$300 a month that you're going to save by putting all the money from one house into the other. Keep some of the money in your pocket so that way you can invest when a good opportunity comes up. I hope I get the opportunity to work with you. If you have any questions, any concerns about the short game rental market, let me know. I'm here to help you out. Take care.